against ISIS.
Yeah, we will.
The West's worst fears over Syria seem to be coming true. A suspected ISIS gunman killed 2 American soldiers and an interpreter in Syria's Palmyra. What does this mean for Syria under al-Sharaa? Did the West underestimate ISIS' threat in Syria? Will Trump be forced to rethink his Syria strategy? We explain in the latest edition of HT In Depth. Let's begin with what happened on Saturday. 2 U.S. service members and 1 American civilian were killed in an attack in Syria that the United States blames on the Islamic State group. U.S. Central Command said 3 service members were also wounded in the ambush Saturday by a lone IS member in central Syria. CENTCOM characterized the attack as an ambush carried out by a lone ISIL gunman, who was subsequently engaged and killed. The identity of the suspect has also not been released, but 3 local officials told Reuters that the assailant was a member of the Syrian security forces. What followed was a big warning from the U.S. president.
So we mourn the loss of 3 great patriots in Syria. You know how it happened. It was an ambush, terrible. We also have 3 wounded. They seem to be doing pretty well. But we mourn the loss. These are 3 great people. And it's just a terrible thing. Syria, by the way, was fighting along with us. The new president of Syria is, as they told me, and I'm not surprised, he's devastated by what happened. This was an ISIS attack on us and Syria. And again, we mourn the loss and we pray for them and their parents and their loved ones. Very, very sad.
Mr. President, will the U.S. retaliate against ISIS?
Yeah, we will.
And will the U.S. forces attack again?
You're going to be seeing.
We
We will retaliate. Thank you very much.
The attack comes a month after Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa met with Donald Trump at the White House. Syria also recently joined an international coalition to combat the Islamic State and pledged to cooperate with the U.S. ISIS, which at its zenith in 2014 held roughly a third of the country, was largely defeated in 2019. It was bested primarily by the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces. The extremist group, however, saw a big opportunity in a post-Assad Syria. Several reports say its leaders exploited the country's sectarian and ideological divisions to recruit new fighters in an attempt to rebuild their caliphate. On ISIS radar have been the new Syrian government, as well as Christian, Shiite, and Kurdish minorities. In post-Assad Syria, ISIS has pursued 2 parallel tracks of violence: an insurgent campaign in areas controlled by the Syrian Democratic Forces. Between January 1st and October 1st, 89% of the 237 ISIS attacks recorded by Syria weekly occurred in SDF territory. What's interesting is while most attacks were carried out with small arms and light weapons, the group also used 7 improvised explosive devices and 4 suicide vests between August 1st and late September. This, experts say, is something that should worry the al-Sharaa dispensation. The attacks prove ISIS has access to explosives, the expertise to manufacture them, and the freedom to transport and deploy them. Additionally, ISIS has also launched an urban terrorist campaign in government-held zones. Reports say violence has also been accompanied by a surge in ISIS propaganda undermining al-Sharaa and HTS. ISIS routinely maligns a new government and calls for soldiers in the Syrian military to defect. ISIS propagandists call Sharaa Julani, in reference to conspiracy theory that the Syrian president, formerly known as Abu Muhammad al-Julani, is an Israeli Mossad agent installed to initiate regime change inside Syria in favor of Israel. The group has also labeled HTS non-believers and accused it of being a puppet of the United States and Israel. ISIS' growing confidence and resurgence coincides with an incremental withdrawal of U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq. The situation is likely to grow more dangerous if the Trump administration follows through on its plan, announced in April, to begin withdrawing approximately 2,000 U.S. troops stationed in Syria. Additionally, in September 2024, the United States and Iraq jointly announced that the global coalition would end its military mission in Iraq by the end of September 2025 and in Syria by September 2026. The United States has reportedly already transferred control of 3 of its 8 bases in the country to the SDF, with plans to consolidate to just 1 base. However, without Washington's active involvement, the coalition's remaining members will struggle to counter ISIS or even adequately support local players such as the Syrian Democratic Forces. Reports also suggest that the combined manpower of the Syrian army and the SDF is not sufficient to prevent an ISIS resurgence. A U.S. withdrawal from Syria risks creating space for ISIS and other terrorist organizations, further destabilizing the country, and even opening the door for Iran-backed Shiite extremists, including Hezbollah. Since 2014, the United States has been the linchpin of the global coalition to defeat ISIS. All eyes are now on Donald Trump. Will he step up military action in Syria? Or will the Trump administration move ahead with plans to cut down involvement in Syria? We'll wait and watch.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.